Cody Garbrandt is a UFC bantamweight most famous for holding the division title at the end of 2016, as well as coaching a team on the UFC-produced reality show The Ultimate Fighter. Hot-headed, short-tempered mixed martial artist with a background in both boxing and wrestling, Garbrandt's detractors point to his lack of self-control as his biggest weakness. His fans, however, love his bold, emotional, powerful fighting style, something that keeps them coming back to watch. Largely driven by his emotions, but with a strong mix of striking techniques to help back him up, Garbrandt has had some of the most dynamic finishes in the history of the UFC bantamweight division, if not the whole organization. Here are a handful of his most savage moments over the course of his high-octane career. Like, share, and subscribe to the Ultimate Fighting Network as we explore some of Cody "No Love" Garbrandt's most savage moments in the UFC.
Punch landed. He's gonna stop it. Cody Garbrandt!
Regular viewers will know that we love a good debut victory. And when Cody Garbrandt first started in the UFC in 2015, it was clear that he wanted to make a statement. For his debut in 2015, Garbrandt faced Marcus Brimage, a longtime professional whose UFC career was already underway. In the third round, Garbrandt displayed what would become one of his signatures: real, serious punching power, and a near disregard for his own aggressive attacks. He managed to knock down Brimage to the canvas. Brimage did stand up, but it was clear the damage had been done. After a few more vicious strikes from Garbrandt, referee Herb Dean stopped the fight, and Cody Garbrandt was officially a name to watch in the UFC. In 2016, for his third fight in the organization, Garbrandt faced Brazilian fighter Augusto Mendes. Behind the scenes, it was a complicated lead-up. This was to be Augusto Mendes' debut fight, and he was given only 5 days' notice to train when veteran fighter John Lineker was forced to pull out of fighting Garbrandt. As a result, Mendes missed weight. But after all the dust settled, it was just two men in the cage, leaving all the complexities behind. It would not be the glorious debut for Mendes that Garbrandt had had a year before, though the newcomer tried his best. Over the course of round one, Garbrandt sized up his opponent quickly and eventually dispatched him with a vicious flurry of strikes, and then a ground and pound for good measure before the referee stopped the punishment. It was Garbrandt's first knockout victory in the UFC, but definitely not his last. For his next fight later that year, Garbrandt faced Brazilian fighter Thomas Almeida. Both fighters had, up until that point, been undefeated in their UFC careers, and Almeida was the odds-on favorite, having had an impressive streak of early round wins before entering the cage with Garbrandt. But Garbrandt was not easily intimidated, and his quick and accurate striking was the deciding factor. Garbrandt knocked Almeida out in the first round, earning himself his very first performance of the night bonus. 2016 was definitely Garbrandt's year. His next match pitted him against a well-respected veteran of the sport, Japanese fighter Takeya Mizugaki. Mizugaki had been fighting professionally since 2005 and with the UFC since 2011, and had a background in both boxing and judo and a reputation for a good defense, enough to earn him several victories via decision over the course of his career. But all of his reputation wasn't enough to give Mizugaki the edge over Garbrandt that evening. Mizugaki and Garbrandt traded strikes and low kicks, but in the first minute of the first round, Garbrandt hit Mizugaki with a vicious right hand to the chin, stunning him. Within seconds, it was all over in a flurry of strikes. Garbrandt had toppled a veteran fighter and was well on his way to becoming a contender for the coveted title. Usually we don't include decision victories here as savage moments, But this one is just a little bit special for multiple reasons. At the end of 2016, Garbrandt's best year ever, remember? Dominick Cruz was the reigning bantamweight champion and had been undefeated for 10 years. He entered his time at the UFC with the WEC bantamweight title and only vacated it due to injury, winning it back within a few years. If Garbrandt wanted the title, then Cruz was his main obstacle, and Cruz had been unstoppable for a decade. The lead-up was full of trash talk, and the whole world was witness to Garbrandt's hot-headed personality and his short fuse, especially when disrespected. When the night of the fight came, however, the unexpected happened. Not only did Garbrandt defeat Cruz, but he truly embarrassed him, knocking him down twice and nearly finishing him in the fourth round. When all was said and done, Garbrandt was given the victory by decision, as well as the bantamweight title. The fight was given the Fight of the Night distinction, and Garbrandt became the first fighter to defeat Cruz in 10 years, and only the second to defeat him in his entire professional career. If there's one thing MMA fans love more than a surprise underdog, it's probably a triumphant comeback. Garbrandt's winning streak did not go on forever, and he soon found himself skidding with a trilogy of losses, two which lost him his championship to DJ Dillashaw, and the third when he tried to regain his confidence. His volatile personality seemed to catch up with him, and his reputation for fighting emotionally had cost him his title. 3 losses is enough to start to make the UFC higher-ups anxious about contracts. But thankfully, Garbrandt was given another shot. Rafael Assunção was an experienced fighter with several notable victories to his name. Defeating him would definitely be a boon for Garbrandt's desire at redemption. The question was, would Garbrandt be able to keep his emotions in check? When the two faced off in 2020, something remarkable happened. Garbrandt was like a different fighter. Calm, confident, almost emotionless. It was a huge contrast, and it paid off. At the very end of the second round, right as the horn rang out, Garbrandt hit Assunção with his signature power and knocked him out cold. A fitting return to form for a larger-than-life personality. Like so many stars of the UFC, Cody Garbrandt can be a divisive figure. Those that love him love his style, his aggression, and even his fiery trash talk and willingness to enter the fray, no matter the cost. Those who hate him call that same fire his downfall. There may be truth to all of it, but one thing that's exciting about Cody Garbrandt is his story, his winning streak, his emotional fall from grace, and what could be the stirrings of a real comeback story. Whatever lies at the end of this road, who can tell? But hopefully, there will be more savage moments for future lists just like this one. What do you think about Cody Garbrandt? What's your favorite savage moment from his career? Comment below and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Thank you for watching the Ultimate Fighting Network.